my Jimmy Choo Sando, cause I'm rich.
Tell me a little bit about your music journey. I know you said you was doing live performances and you also had the opportunity to be on stage for Wale or just be in the same lineup as Wale. So I mean you had some real emotion. So what was that like?
It was a blessing. It was early on. It was right when I got started. I was on stage with Wale, went on tour with Wale, K-Camp, and J. Cole, and that all gave me perspective to go on my own tour, Silver Life Tour, which was my last tour that I went on as a performing artist in 2015. So between 2009 and 2015, I was in college, Air Force, and touring artist, and those were the things that I did. I was like a machine. Like I didn't have any, when I took leave to go on tour with these artists, come back and, you know, made rank in the Air Force, I went in there to pay for my school so I can get educated to learn how to effectively be a business owner. And yeah, so it was a good experience. But my favorite one was J. Cole because he did Forest Hill Drive, and it was the year I got out of the Air Force, and he had came back to Fayetteville, and he had sent 2 guys to my door, and my girlfriend answers the door or whatever, and I knew one of the guys from somewhere. I guess he had asked who was popping or whatever. So I was the guy. Silver Life was t-shirts, killing it. I was in every skate shop. I was in every boutique. We were about to open a store before I moved, you know. And so it was merch, and I was the guy they picked. And the next show was in Richmond, Virginia. So that's the city right next to where I grew up. So, and it was right when I got out of the Air Force too. So I was like, oh man, this is full circle moment. Cole, he's doing his back home type deal. He about to take me back home for the rest of his tour. This is amazing. So we went there. They took me to Virginia, and we went to that show, and then we did 2 more dates, and then we did our last date back in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and that was cool. That's when Hove came out and everything, and it was cool.
Bro, it's crazy that you brought up, you know, that time when J. Cole dropped Forest Hill, because I was just talking about that on Facebook. I was living in North Carolina around that time. I was living in Lewisburg, North Carolina. I was out there for college playing ball and stuff, and I just remember that vibe North Carolina had when that album came out.
Carolina vibe, bro. When he brought out that P.D. Pablo on that record,
crazy.
You know, yeah, man, we was riding to that. I had a 650i BMW.
Yeah.
At 24, I had my dream car. It was cool, man. I was blessed, man. Like, but we riding with the top down. Some of my homies still hit me up till today, like, yo, that was the best time of my life. Just riding around with you, listening to that. And that's when Drake came out with 6 God too.
Yeah.
So them 2 albums with the top down in the 6 series with the boys. It was just the vibe in Carolina.
And you was in Fayetteville?
Fayetteville,
yeah.
Yep.
So I haven't been in Fayetteville. I was just like in Lewisburg, Raleigh, and Greensboro.
Tight.
I was
so
just in those
Greensboro, I
cities.
have been to for a couple of times. Raleigh, I loved. I went there almost every other weekend.
Raleigh's super dope.
Wilmington. Love Wilmington.
I heard about it.
Beautiful women.
Yes. I know. Well, you know, I was playing around over there in North Carolina Central.
Oh,
yeah,
that too.
It was super dope.
Dope.
It was a big school. It was like love, man.
Yeah.
I never seen that before, because you know you only see that. Sorry for being ignorant, but you only see that on TV for real. But when you go, I went to like a JUCO school. So when I went to other schools, I'm like, damn, this college is crazy.
It's real.
It's real, for real.
I feel you, bro.
That was a great experience. So tell me about the Air Force lifestyle. How long did you stay active in the Air Force, and what was that like being in the Air Force?
Absolutely, yeah. So was in the Air Force for 6 years, and I made rank so fast. I became a staff sergeant super early. So the people I came in with, I was their supervisor, and like I said earlier, I was a machine. I would wake up, I was a PTL. I was in charge of the PT regimen. I would do speeches, safety speeches, and just like without no stress. It was just I was the guy that they would choose for that. Like natural leader, I said that's why I was a natural leader. Tall guy, articulate, confident, and not just stuck on the military. I also was an entrepreneur with Silver Life as production and merch. So the people supported me. It was predominantly white in the branch. Air Force branch is like one of the hardest to get into, but that base I was at was just a predominantly white base, and people say that they experience some kind of stuff like tension in military, but I didn't experience any of it at all. I didn't experience any weird stuff like that till I moved to Atlanta. But the Air Force was beautiful. Only thing is, it's a false sense of security because we're literally brothers. It's a brotherhood. And then when you go to the real world, it's not. It's like, so that's something, growing up how I grew up, going straight into the military, you're getting paid twice a month and everybody's your family, and it's authentic. It's really authentic. They want you to win because you got to go to war with these people. So it's got to be authentic. And then getting dropped into the real world, not dropped, but transitioning into the real world. My 6 years was up. I didn't want to re-enlist. It was part of my goals just to do 6 years because I only went in so it could pay for my college and not with the GI Bill. If you go to school full time while you're in the military, they have something called tuition assistance. That's why I have 2 degrees, because I got a degree while I was in, and then I was able to utilize my GI Bill after I got out. That's why I think we met at film school. So, so that's why I got my film degree. So I got my marketing degree and my film degree. So it was a great platform, to say the least. Just, for the early 20s, get it done.
So let's touch on the whole marketing thing. You went to school for marketing, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why is marketing so expensive for like business owners, and why do you have to put so much money in it? I just want to understand it.
Expense varies on the client's goals, but across the board, if you have a business, marketing is part of your business. So people have business, say your business is selling watermelons. Marketing's part of your business. So every business, when you have your business plans and do your financials at the end, if you're familiar with doing a business plan, financials are at the end. Marketing is a budget that you need to allocate towards your business plan. When you're asking for money for a business, you need to consider how much it's going to cost to market for at least your first 3 to 5 years. And I just always had a passion for branding and helping people, like I was saying earlier. So I applied that with helping businesses grow, and that's what SLC does now. But why is it expensive? That depends on the client's goals, but it's definitely necessary. You can't get around it.
That's super dope. What are the different forms of marketing?
I'm glad you asked, because when I went to school, I learned like the psychology part of marketing, which will never change. But I also learned a very archaic version. I really took a lot more away from kind of the prerequisite business classes I had to take, that also kind of coincide with the marketing degree. And learning about macroeconomics was like one of the things that like people say, like you hear stuff and you understand it later. That was one of the subjects that I didn't enjoy then, but I got to understand it recently, and it just was like a light bulb moment. But I've had to learn a lot about traditional marketing, the different forms, digital marketing. We specialize at SLC in digital marketing and content marketing. There's almost like 25 to 30 different forms of marketing, email marketing, guerrilla marketing. I mean, they can go down the list, but you specialize in it. What forms of marketing? Marketing's a broad term.
How much marketing do you think a business owner or just a single person could do on their own?
You gotta let professionals do their job. You gotta call an agency, you call SLC. Yeah. But you have to, because it allows you to focus on what you do best in the business. Marketing is a whole nother element that you have to go to school for, get educated on, learn the marketing techniques that are currently working for today's economy, which is ever changing. It takes a professional and somebody in that career to be on top of that and be able to deliver that to your business and other businesses consistently and effectively. So I feel like that's why the average person that just has a business, they can't do much of it by themselves. And posting on social media is not marketing. Like it's kind of marketing, but it's not real marketing. When you're shooting out the same post that's also an ad to 4 different social media platforms, and you're looking and tracking, all right, how well did this do? Is it because of this color palette? Is it because we use this design? And you're contrasting it against another post that you shot out to the same amount of platforms, and you're tracking the analytics, and you're seeing, hey, which one does better? What audience is coming because of looking at this data? What audience are we getting because of this data? That's marketing. And people say, you know, that's form of marketing when you're talking about social media. I don't have a personal social media. All my social medias are a representation of either SLC or Brandon, aka Sylvie, as a person in the industry, whether film, because when you asked about music, I am still involved in music. I'm just not an artist anymore. I manage EDM DJs here in Atlanta and stuff.
That's a good line to get into. That
road management too, like tour, like my tour experience is really gonna help a lot of these guys that I'm starting to manage, if they can afford it, get on that road.